women mobilizer and her deputy. Honorable Kebaje of Jokadun spoke of the numerous interventions by the APRC government that has changed the livelihoods of rural women for good. Chief Ibrahim Tamba Jame of Ilyasa and various other speakers predicted a landslide victory for President Jame in the upcoming elections. A group of women from Badibu, India, who were rumored to have switched allegiance to the opposition, paraded themselves before the women mobilizer, describing those suggestions as baseless and unfounded. They reaffirmed their support and loyalty to the ruling party. From Ilyasa, the National Women Mobilizer and her delegation dashed to Farafenye, where she told the women to unite and support President Jame, who has brought them development. Aji Fatou Ba and Ida Fai Hydra reminded the women of their important role in society, advising them to stay away from anything that might jeopardize their unity. Speaking at similar meetings in Kaur, Panchang, and Wasu, Ajande Jata challenged the women to vote overwhelmingly for President Jame, noting that it is the only way they can reciprocate what the Gambian leader has done for them. The people of these areas were unanimous in reaffirming their support to the ruling party, with all of them assuring a massive victory for the party. In Janjambure, Chief Jan Jao and Aja Babun Sidibe gave assurance that the island settlement belongs to the APRC. Other speakers at the Janjambure meeting were Governor Ngani Toure and the Communication and Infrastructure Minister Honorable Alaji Cham, both of whom advised the women to unite and desist from power struggle. The resounding welcome accorded to the APRC Women Mobilizer was phenomenal, and the message from Gambian women is simple. They are fully behind the APRC. The talk continues in the Upper River region. Momodo S. Jallo, GRTS.
The Medical Research Council unit in the Gambia Tuesday organized an international meeting on the newly developed meningitis vaccine project, which is now being used in mass vaccination campaigns across sub-Saharan Africa. Samuel Barr was at the high-profile meeting, and he now tells us more.
Meningitis continues to pose serious health problems in sub-Saharan Africa, particularly in the meningitis belt regions. This synergy of health experts is therefore premised on discussing the newly developed meningitis vaccine project manufactured by the Serum Institute of India. The project, sponsored by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, is a partnership between WHO, Program for Appropriate Technology in Health, and countries in the meningitis belt. It aims at ensuring that the availability of an effective and efficacious vaccine for the prevention of meningitis outbreaks and epidemics in prone regions across Africa.
The project really aims at ensuring that we have a vaccine that is very effective and efficacious in order to prevent any further epidemics in the meningitis belt of Africa. And through the collaboration with the Serum Institute of India, who are the manufacturers of this particular vaccine, we have been able to conduct clinical trials, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 in a number of countries, about 5 countries or so, including the Gambia, and we have demonstrated that the vaccine is safe and efficacious.
Professor Tumani Kora recognizes the invaluable contributions of MRC Gambia unit in the execution of the project through ongoing research and clinical trials.
The most prominent groups of meningococcal meningitis include A, B, C, Y, and W135, with Group A representing 80% of all meningitis in our sub-region. It is true that there is treatment for this disease, but treatment is usually late, and even when it is offered, 20% of the people who are affected are left with residual damages.
Professor Kora believes that the advent of the conjugate vaccine has many more advantages and could be used as a preventive vaccine rather than a firefighting tool. Dr. Adama Demba commended the partnership between MRC and the Ministry of Health for the successes registered in the course of developing the vaccine, especially in the area of ongoing research and clinical tests. Dr. Demba further reveals that the vaccine will soon be introduced into our national vaccination schedule.
Meningitis is a serious condition in children and adults and remains a major cause of morbidity and mortality in Africa, in particular in the meningitis belt. serious episodes of meningitis caused by meningococcus A occur every 10 to 12 years in our region and can affect the lives of as many as 500 cases per 100,000 people.
During a PowerPoint presentation, the head of the vaccinology team at the MRC, Professor Beat Kampman, reveals a phenomenal decline of meningitis cases after the successful introduction of the new vaccine. Professor Kampman further reveals a significant annual decline for the under 5 mortality rate from 159 per 1,000 live births in 1990 to 45 per 1,000 live births. Dr. Marie-Pierre Preziosi dilated on the historical background and success stories that the new vaccine has achieved in all trials conducted so far. With the new vaccine set to be introduced into our national vaccination schedule, health experts are optimistic that this will make a significant contribution in improving the health status of people between the ages of 1 to 29 across sub-Saharan Africa. Samuel Ba, GRTS.
Well, two death verdicts involving cases of murder and infanticide characterized a busy day at the High Court's Special Criminal Division. Ibrahim Ajata reports the shocking Jambur murder trial against the professed eater of human flesh, Suleiman Sise, has finally been decided on by Justice Emmanuel Nkia.
Monday morning at the Special Criminal Court. This is the High Court's Chief Criminal Division, and final verdicts don't happen here daily. Looking brisk on a new day, the presiding judge, Justice Emmanuel Nkia, did not waste time when he sat down to deliver a host of judgments before a fully packed courtroom. The verdicts included the awful murder trial against alleged cannibal Suleiman Sise, who was arraigned by prosecutors in 2009 for the killing of Jambur native Adama Jata, who reportedly went to tend her rice field in the settlement and never came back home. 10 witnesses testified for prosecution who called evidence showing how the victim was beheaded by her attacker, who cut off biceps and other parts of the victim's body. In outrageous detail, Justice Nkia related the testimonies of the third and second prosecution witness who gave evidence about a certain naked man in the woodland who once chased her around the area where the victim's body was discovered. In their efforts to link Sise to the crime, prosecutors had brought forth circumstantial evidence which asserted that a black shirt and blue nylon bag found at the scene actually belonged to the accused, who is in his 60s. Particulars of a scissor found at the scene and evidence of severed limbs, some of which were roasted by the assailant, including extreme hemorrhage experienced by the victim, were further analyzed by Justice Nkia, who underlined the fact that the strongest point raised by the defense was the lack of forensic evidence to prove the allegations of murder. Who killed the deceased was finally an important question asked by Justice Nkia, who in conclusion told a serene court that prosecutors had successfully proven their case against the accused beyond any reasonable doubt. Caesar's lawyer subsequently made a brief mitigation asking the court to deliver justice with mercy. Prosecutors say Suleiman Sise is a first offender, but in delivering sentence, the presiding judge underlined that murder, particularly cannibalism, cannot be entertained if social good and order are to be upheld. Sise was subsequently sentenced to death by Justice Emmanuel Nkia, who further prescribed that the accused be killed by hanging. The death row convict was duly reminded of his right to appeal. The judgment of infanticide suspect Kadi Jawla came next. Prosecutors arraigned the 25-year-old from Kunting village on a one-count charge in 2009 for causing the death of her newborn baby boy by throwing him in a well. A single witness testified for prosecution, who also presented exhibits including a confessional statement said to have been obtained from the accused. Jawla did not call any witness in her defense, but had told the court that his father threatened to kill her if she falls pregnant again. The presiding judge, Justice Nkia, told the Special Criminal Court that the confessional document acquired from the accused indicated in graphic picture how the accused wrapped her baby in a bag of rice and threw him in a well. There is overwhelming evidence to prove that the accused knew the probable consequence of her action would cause grievous bodily harm to the baby, according to the presiding judge, who finally emphasized that prosecution have proven their case beyond reasonable doubt. A defense lawyer asked the court to temper justice with mercy. In his verdict, Justice Nkia said he is tempted to exercise clemency, but added that no one knows what the murdered baby would have been. As such, a lesson is very fitting in order to protect the public. Kadi Jawla was sentenced to death by the presiding judge, who also stipulated